20-game winners. It could be a day with history attached at Nationals Park.
This is Dusty Baker, which is no surprise to you. You've been knowing me, and I've been knowing you a long, long time. And, well, it's going to be tough to listen to broadcasts without you there. I've been listening to you since I was a kid at 10, 11, 12 years old, playing in the backyard, and then I had the privilege and honor of playing with you on the Dodgers and listening to you every day. I mean, you are a unique person. You always had the same demeanor every day. I know everything wasn't always pleasant in your life, but you always brought a smile to everybody's face. And I really liked the way that you treated one of my main men, Mr. Mims, that helped you in the office. What you've done on the field, speaks for itself. How you announce a game and the diction that you use and the words you use and the stories and anecdotes that you use is legendary, and you've affected many announcers and kids like my brother who used to try to announce like you were in the backyard. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart from all of us, and you enjoy this weekend. Enjoy it big time, because that's what I used to watch you from Candlestick Park and announcing the Giants-Dodger game, and what a fitting way, to say I'll see you later. All right, I love you.
Well done, Dusty. And well done, Vince Scully. 67 years ending today. He was not even halfway through his career when he won the Ford Frick Award, inducted into the Hall of Fame for his major contributions. National Sportscaster of the Year. He owns the award in California, and a Lifetime Achievement Sports Emmy Award. The great Vin Scully with the Dodgers at San Francisco today. And I thought it was funny, FB. Yesterday, Vinny said, Willie Mays, You're my favorite player of all time, even though you had the wrong uniform on.
Yeah, how powerful is that? Willie Mays up in the booth with Vin Scully. So just honored to be doing what Vin has done for so many years at the same time that he's doing his last game.
Sun's out, few clouds in the distance, but it's beautiful at the ballpark. 72 degrees, humidity 74%. Yeah, we see the sun really for the first time all week. D. Gordon back in there for the Marlins today. Christian Yelich, 320 at Nationals Park. He'll need a huge day with 3 RBIs to make it to 100. And then some of their kids get a chance to play as Don Mattingly shuffles things up a little bit. And by the way, FP and I will have a little bit more on this, but Martin Prado is the manager of the Marlins today, and Jeff Mathis is their bench coach. More on that, but here's Max.
Yeah, earned his 7th win in a row last start on the 27th against the Diamondbacks. Gave up 2 runs in 6 innings of work. Gave up 6 hits to the D-backs. Struck out 10 through 98 pitches. So on the year, the fastball has been averaging 94.3 miles an hour. Slider, cutter, curveball change to complement it. And Max Scherzer goes for win number 20 and a potential Cy Young here today. Let's do this.
Yeah, just a great time. First pitches right now being thrown all over baseball. 3:06 in D.C. It's Max to Gordon, and he's up there hacking. Got the day off yesterday. RBI with a 6th inning infield hit on Friday night. Max under the bat of D. Gordon. It's 0-2.
Yeah, maybe the Marlins have some flashbacks to 2014 in Game 162 in this ballpark today.
This ball, foul, and just unreachable for Stephen Drew.
I mean, that was a meaningless game, right? Jordan Zimmerman was out there. All the extras were playing, or the starters were coming out of the game, and then you look up and he's got a no-hitter going, and you remember Yelich hit that ball in the gap that Steven Souza Jr. dove for. So you never know. And we've been conditioned the last couple of years late in the season to kind of anticipate something like that. So we'll see.
Yeah. And we talked about a possible 4 o'clock playoff game and how tough it might be to hit. Well, this is a 3:05 game, and the shadow from the press box almost into the batter's box already. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gordon, 8 for 28 career against Max Scherzer. Hanging tough. John Tumpane, 7th year in the big leagues, has the plate. Alan Porter, Brian O'Nora, and the crew chief, Jeff Kellogg, who was great behind the plate yesterday, is at 3rd. Swing and a miss. Nasty pitch sliding down and in on the left-handed batter. That's strikeout number 278.
D. Gordon real aggressive in this at-bat, trying to seal the deal early. Look at all the break on that slider from Max from behind the plate. That was amazing, and Gordon couldn't pick up the rotation, couldn't stop swinging, and that's how this one starts with a Max Scherzer strikeout.
Tomas Talis, 25-year-old switch hitting catcher from Venezuela, in the number 2 spot today. He's had 8 at-bats with the Marlins, couple of hits. Playing in his 10th big league game, at least this year. Last 3 years, a smattering of big league action here and there with the Rangers and Miami. Ball hit well. Turner, glasses blazing in his shades, and he grabs it at the edge of the track. 2 outs, top of the 1st.
Here's your Nats defense for game 162. Revere, Turner, Harper, your outfield. Espinosa, Drew, left side. Defoe, Zimmerman, right side. And Jose Lobatone behind the plate. Trey Turner in center field. Big day yesterday again.
Trey having quite a series. And here's Martin Prado. And we have reports that if he makes an out his first time up today, he might take himself out of the game and manage the rest of the game from the bench. Kind of a unique thing, FP, that Don Mattingly's doing. I guess Joe Torre used to do it with the Yankees here and there on the last day of the season.
We'll keep an eye on it. I'm all for the Marlins having fun any way they want to right now.
Yep. Slider low and away. 2-1. Is the out-of-town scoreboard on or off? Sometimes this time of the day you can't see it because of the sun, but it looks like they're posting no other scores. Interesting. And was that the Marlins dugout rooting for him to get a hit to right as he dropped one in there? They made a lot of noise on that swing. Prado's aboard with 2 outs.
I think it was if he gets a hit, he's coming out of the game. So we'll see.
Okay. Next up, Christian Yelich in that cleanup spot today. 5 for 15 career against Max. Lobaton to the outside edge. .295 hitter. Outfield around to the left a bit. He's going to pull it for a base hit.
Hit a spot, got the pitch down and in exactly where he wanted it to be. Christian Yelich just looking for it in there. Nice swing. Rarely you see Max challenge lefties with a fastball in, but he tries to run that back, and Yelich all over it. Good swing.
There's Justin Bour. And Scherzer ahead.
They're having a good series. He's been locked in. I think he's a key to their success next year. If he can do what he's done when he's healthy and they keep him on the field and protect Giancarlo Stanton, you know, you go Yelich, Stanton, Bour. That's a pretty impressive 3-4-5.
Agreed. Shift is on. Runner at second running on the bag. And Martin Prado makes the 3rd out of the inning at third base.
He's going to have to bench himself for that.
I think he just benched himself. You're right. Interesting. Very interesting. Not even close. baseball on Masson, brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. By Airlines for America, where airplanes land, opportunity takes off. And by Dominion. Depend on us for more than energy. The Nats are 8th in the league in hitting, 4th in runs, 4th in home runs. Stephen Drew's going to give Anthony Rendon the day off over at third base, hitting just under 300 his last 9 ball games. Ben Revere is in there. Wilmer Defoe gets a start, and Jose Lobaton handling Max Scherzer. Here's Tom Kohler.
We see the arsenal: fastball, slider, curveball change. Fastball average at 92. He's 1-2 in 4 starts against the Nats this year with a 3 ERA. So here's start number 5 for Tom Kohler against the Nats.
Trey Turner against him, 0 for 2, but having a great series. Batting average up to 342. Fastball and off to the right to even the count. Trey doesn't walk a lot, 12 times. The one thing we don't mention much is the fact that his on-base percentage has constantly been 20 to 25 points higher than his batting average.
Want me to simplify the Dodgers series?
I think I know where you're going here.
Trey Turner gets on, they beat the Dodgers. The Dodgers keep Trey Turner off the base, they're going to beat the Nats. I mean, that's crazy simplistic, but if Trey Turner does what he just did right there and starts getting some walks, going deep into counts, and just worries about getting on base, the Nats are going to win. But if he does this and he's only on base for just a second, we're okay with that too. And I could see him doing that on a Clayton Kershaw slider down and in. Home run number 13 for Trey Turner. 32 stolen bases and counting.
6th in the league. There's Ben Revere. He's had 11 career hits off of Kohler.
Trey's family's at home right now going, thanks, FP. We really appreciate that. Put all the pressure on our son. He likes it, though. He was going.
Thanks to Turner. Revere swiped a couple lately. Bryce Harper as well. Nats have 119 stolen bases. They've been caught just 39 times. 5th most in the National League. And Revere's going to hit one hard to right. Turner got to get back. 1 out. Ben hit it right on the button. Next up, Harper.
Marlins defense today: Scruggs, Yelich, Hood. The outfield: Echeverria, Prado left side, Gordon Bohr right side, and Tomas Telis behind the plate. Got those glow stickers on his right hand so that Tom Kohler can see the signs. Could it be in the shadows? That's a good idea.
Bryce checked in with a base hit and RBI. First time up yesterday. That was right up the middle. And that's where Echeverria is playing. Ball 1 away. There he goes. That was a foul tip. So Brian O'Nora, the second base umpire, letting Trey Turner know he's got to go back.
Boy, he had a great jump right there. A lot of times you'll see a hitter take a strike for a legit base stealer. Bryce seeing some holes out there, swung away, but Trey Turner had that base ripped.
Kohler trying to give him his good move.
One thing is left-handed, Carp, it's a little more difficult to see the runner go. Right-handed, it's right in front of you, so you can see him break and see what kind of jump he gets. Left-handed, it's kind of happening behind your head. But you can still hear guys yelling runner.
Target away.
He's going again. Run till they tag you, Trey. Pretty close on this one, huh? Ugh. I would imagine this is where you're going to see most pitches in the playoffs to Bryce, on the outer half of the plate. Until he proves he can cover that outer third, he's not going to see anything on the inner half, I don't think.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going again.
Kohler, very quick footwork, getting rid of that ball.
I think they want to look at this. I think Martin Prado's going to check this. Adeline going. Oh, wait. Here we go. Play on.
Counts 1-2 still. They got Bryce slightly bunched toward the gap in right center. Target away. Turner running. Pitch outside. And that's into center field. Trey Turner rips his 33rd of the year.
I mean, how exciting is Trey Turner? He didn't even get a good jump there, still ripped it. I mean, for Trey Turner's jumps. And you see Talise rushing the throw in a full panic, and he throws a one-hopper. Ball kind of sailed back toward right field. Trey Turner was stolen base number 33. He might get 33 if the Nats get to the World Series in the postseason alone.
33 steals, just into his 73rd game. On the off speed, Bryce Harper does well to adjust, get a piece of it, and stay alive.
I'm trying to think who in the postseason has a leadoff hitter that's such a force as Trey Turner.
Off speed. Kohler strikes out a former nemesis, Harper, who's had big numbers against him this year, earlier, and in his career. 2 outs with Ryan Zimmerman in the cleanup spot today. Ryan hit 5th yesterday. And by the way, it means nothing to the Nats, but to the wild card race it does. Giants 2 in the bottom of the 1st against the Dodgers. If they win, they're in St. Louis, a game behind them. All they can hope for is a tie, and the Giants would have to go to St. Louis tomorrow. Mets, they've punched their ticket. Ryan 7 for 25. 3 homers career against Kohler. 2-0.
When's the last time Ryan's hit 4th? Remember all the years he hit 3rd and then was dropped to the 4th spot. I can't remember too many times this year when he's hit 4th.
Not at all. Two balls, 1 strike.
I think another key to the playoffs is whether the Nats fans have white towels or red towels. And I haven't heard. Have you?
I don't know.
Because white towels are a disaster if you're playing on defense. You can't see anything.
Yeah.
It's like playing defense in a snowstorm.
Yeah.
You can't see the ball off the bat. You don't get good jumps. So I hope they're red. And if they're white, I'm probably in big trouble right now.
3-1, 2 outs, and a strike. I will say one thing, having sat in the stands for a number of those games, the lint factor flying around the stadium in the seats is quite high.
It is. And see all those white shirts? Imagine all those white, everyone has white shirts on. That's what it looks like when there's white towels. So if you come, just wave them when the Dodgers are on defense, and if they're white.
Correct.
But we don't hear anything, so I don't know.
3-2. Good rip by Ryan. Straight back to the screen it went.
And I think the secret weapon for the Nats in the playoffs is staying in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, great call on Mr. Drew, the way he's going. So Ryan, one pitch, sort of center cut, everything else down or away. 3-2 again, and this is a high fly that will leave and go into the seats foul. They've got Tom Kohler at 20 pitches already. Max first inning. 16 with 11 strikes. Nats 120 runs in the first inning this year, and how to play again.
Good battle going on between these two.
Let's hop back on the Mercedes and look at this AB. First pitch anywhere near the inner edge, the last one. Number 9 coming with Trey Turner still out at second base. He's got a big lead, and Zimmerman will get to double-digit pitches in this at bat.
I'm seeing red towels on Twitter, so that's good news for job security and for the guys on defense, because I just pretty much crushed white.
Three-two. Turner running. Zimmerman up the middle. Ryan trying to get to first. And Trey Turner would have scored it. That's an infield hit. But it's a runner stranded. Last game, first inning in the book, scoreless. First man today, D. Gordon, gave up a couple of 2-out hits to Prado and Yelich. Prado gunned down trying to steal third. Justin Bour was in the batter's box, so he's back in there, top of the second. Danny Espinosa just moved about 50 feet to his left to get into the shift. And Bour's going to go the other way and drop one to left center. Turner gets a glove on it. Bour just rounding the bag at that time and not speedy, so no problem on the bobble. 3 batters in a row with hits. Let's go inside the numbers, brought to you by Jeep. So franchise history, mentioned earlier, Gio's the other 20-game winner for the Nats with his storybook 2012 season. Ross Grimsley, Steve Rogers, and Jordan Zimmerman. Hard to do.
I think the year Pedro Martinez won the Cy Young, he had 17 wins.
Rogers still holds a lot of the Expos pitching records, but he spent a whole lot more of his career with Montreal than Pedro did. There's Xavier Scruggs getting a start at left field today. Bouncer. Drew overreached it. Recovers. And 1 out.
Yeah, good job of staying with this. Got the in-between hop. Kind of shot out of his glove. Not a problem. No panic. I don't think he was going to go to second anyways. Maybe. But it looked like the play was at first. He really had to throw across his body to get it to second. Max telling him, good job, baby. Way to stick with it.
Here's Destin Hood.
Adrian Gonzalez 5 for 26 off Max, a 192 average career. You wouldn't think, but Josh Reddick has the best numbers career against Max. 5 for 11, 455 average. Do you think he'll even start in game 1?
One ball, one strike to Hood. 13th ball game. 4 big league hits. And Max painting away with mid-90s.
Good frame by Jose Lobaton. You see him just pull it back in a little bit at the end. Got the call.
On a nasty slider, blown away. Max Scherzer, with that runner at second, gets his second K of the day.
All right, Winterfest is right around the corner, folks. Washington Convention Center, December 10th and 11th. For a limited time, you can save $10 per ticket by getting it right now. Get your early bird tickets. Visit nationals.com/winterfest. Oh, yes. That is Joe Fro right there. I like it.
Now that's a day off. There's Echeverria.
Is that Oscar Gamble? I love it.
Wait till he gets back to the locker and sees his phone after today's game.
It's not a wig. That's his real hair.
Yeah. Echeverria 1 for 4, an RBI, a walk in the series. Tom Kohler on deck here, top of the second. Marlins have had 3 runners in scoring position so far. Foul tip on the heater up. Outfield around to the right. Fastball from the sun into the shadows, maybe. Now he goes with the slider. A beauty. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Next, got some kind of slider going on early in this one.
It got a little more sweep than normal to it today, and it's late. You know, fastball away, establish that, then throw this pitch. You think, oh, there's that heater away again, and then you go to swing, and it breaks at the last second.
Harper rather shallow and right. Time given to Echeverria, who's 2 for 17 career against Max, with a run batted in. Crowd wants that 3rd out. Pop up. Defoe out, Harper under it, and Bryce has it. Max Scherzer, a couple of zeros on the board with Drew, Defoe, and Espinosa coming up.
Here's Max to the belt. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
2-2 pitch. Another strikeout.
Swing and a miss. High fastball. Down he goes.
Swing and a miss. 20 strikeouts for Max Scherzer. Against his former club, the Tigers. Kerry Wood did it back in '98. Roger Clemens, a couple of times. 8 others have done 19, but those are 9-inning gems all time. Max tying the history mark.
My favorite part about that is what we just showed you at the end. Max Scherzer enjoying it, jumping around like a little kid. He knew how big the moment was, and it wasn't just a stoic, tip of the cap to the fans. I mean, he enjoyed the moment, and that's just how he is. He's game on when he's between the lines. But he's like a little kid and loves baseball when it's not his day or right when the game's over.
Well said. The other element I love from that game, he gave up a homer to J.D. Martinez leading off the top of the ninth. This wasn't some 8-0 blowout and just blowing guys away. When Martinez hit that homer, it became a 3-2 game. Then he got Cabrera for number 19 after a hit. Justin Upton, number 20. What a night. And the Nats won the game. Makes it all the more special. Drew, Defoe, Espinosa. Steven 1 for 4 with that straightaway center field home run the other night. 2-0 pitch. He's going to take it away. Ball 3.
Oh, let it rip.
He's hit 8, driven in 21. Tom Kohler has walked both leadoff men so far.
Become a Nats Insider for free today and get NLCS tickets before the general public. Visit nationals.com/postseason for details. I thought it said for a second, get NLCS tickets free too. I'm saying, where do I sign up for that?
Hey. There's Wilmer Defoe with a walk, 0 for 3 in this series. Off speed, 1-1.
Does Wilmer Defoe make the postseason roster for the first round?
He can do a lot of things for you. We've seen his glove, his quickness defensively and on the bases. He can handle the bat. A 2-1 and he takes it. Ball 3. And I think you tagged him the other day. He's an energy guy too.
He is. I don't know that that's important in the playoffs. Everybody's going to have energy, but when you come out flat for the playoffs, you shouldn't be in the playoffs. But I'm just trying to think where he'll fit. And the Nats have had 40 guys on the roster for so long, I forget who their bench guys are.
Well, Heisey, you have to have a fourth outfielder because Clint Robinson, first base, Drew, infielder.
I guess how big your bullpen is going to determine whether he's on the roster or not.
Yeah. Another walk. Kohler's walked 3 of the first 6 Nationals.
Remember, you don't need 5 starting pitchers either, so there's a spot. You know, it's not just your average 25-man roster that you've had for 6 months. So, you know, do you need as many relievers? You don't need as many starters. So maybe there'll be a spot. And I'm getting so many tweets that want to see Anthony Rendon again on the bench. So maybe we could show him if we get a chance. There he is. I love it. That is just classic. Oscar Gamble. I mean, he should do a baseball card like that, don't you think?
Big spot for Danny Espinosa. Danny checked in with a couple of knocks yesterday. He was back in his customary 8 spot. Pulled the ball from either side of the plate to go 2 for 3. D. Gordon's going to call time and head for the mound. He'll be joined by Tomas Telis. Well, Johnny Holiday tells you about it on the radio. We'll tell you about it on TV. Single game tickets to Maryland football. They start at just $25. Visit umterps.com or call 1-800-I-AM-A-TERP to purchase. Fear the new era, fear the turtle. DJ Durkin at the helm. Two and one. So on a 2-1 count, Kohler changing speeds.
You could be wrong. I don't think he's thrown Danny a fastball yet.
23 pitches, first inning, just 13 strikes. Since then, the ratio's gotten worse with 2 walks. Jose Lobaton has an RBI this series. Good eye. Full count.
He's shocked if he gets a fastball here, 3-2. Kohler's only throwing his off speed for strikes right now.
Trying to pitch to ground ball contact here. Drew at second, Defoe at first. That's a big time chance to get Scherzer on top here early. Danny Espinosa will take a heater up and away. Bases loaded on walks, nobody out.
He did throw a fastball and it was a ball. He's got better command of his curveball and his change right now than he does his heater. He went with the heater. Now he's walked 3 in a row to start the second inning off. Not good for Don Mattingly and his club.
Here's a note on Jose Lobaton, swinging the bat better as the season goes on, and now he's of course getting regular ABs. He's hitting .262 from the left side of the plate now.
I'd say what the Nats are lucky that they have such good backup catchers to make up for the loss of Wilson Ramos. Not a lot of clubs have depth at that position. There's usually a huge drop off, but Pedro Severino was spectacular with the glove yesterday.
And Lobaton, after 3 walks, he sees the heater, is up there pumping.
And we know that Jose Lobaton will give you a competitive at-bat regardless of what the numbers say. It's hard to put up good numbers when you're playing once a week, if that. And both of their defense, in my opinion, speaks for itself. They're both above average defensive catchers.
Counts even, 1-1. A very good hitter and a fierce competitor on deck. Pitch count piling up on Kohler. 1-1 to the Nats catcher.
See, I think when you're hitting 8th, you feel pressure to seal the deal right here. Your bases loaded, nobody out. You think, I got to do it right now because the pitcher's on deck. And maybe you try to do too much. Jose way out in front of that Tom Kohler curveball.
Third base Drew, second base Defoe, first base Espinosa. They all walked. And Lobaton puts a charge into 1 out to center. Kristen Yelich. 2 runners will move up, and Jose Lobaton gets the Nats on top with his 8th RBI of the year.
Nicely done with 2 strikes in the shadows. And these are the kind of at-bats you're going to have in the playoffs if the Nats get that 4 o'clock start on Friday with the shadows. Eye black, sunglasses, bears down with 2 strikes, flips it out there deep enough not only to score the run, but to get Wilmer to third with 1 out. Very productive at-bat by Jose.
Max Scherzer, 11 hits and 8 RBIs this year. A lot of managers will have their pitcher bunt in this situation, try to get that guy at first to scoring position. Max has 13 sacrifice bunts this year.
Well, if he's going to bunt, he lays down a nice one. Defoe's going to score from third. He's going to read the ball down angle. If it's anywhere away from the pitcher, Wilmer's going to cruise home. We'll see if the bunt's still on. Dusty Baker likes to flip-flop a lot, put the bunt on one pitch and let Max swing the next. And Max is clutch with runners in scoring position, has been all year. I like the bunt here to first. This is where the old third to first move was effective in seeing if the pitcher was going to bunt.
Strike two.
You pick up your leg, you fake it to first, then go to, you fake it to third, and then go to first and see if he shows. Bottom of the zone. Max taking one last look at the signs from Bob Henley.
(0-2) with one out, target way outside. Ball gets away and Espinosa goes to second.
Good read. Takes away the double play if Max hits one on the ground. So curveball in the dirt. Watch Espinosa. As soon as it hits, he's off to the races. Free 90 feet because of the heads-up play by Danny. And now Don Mattingly will bring his infield in.
Fastball sails high, 2-2.
I mean, he's got to be thinking in the box right now, if I get a base hit, I get 20 wins. I mean, a 3-0 lead with Max Scherzer on the mound. He knows it. This is a huge at-bat for Max in his personal stats and getting the 20 wins.
Curveball up the middle, base hit. Defoe scores. Here comes Espinosa. Safe. 3-0. Scherzer in the nets.
He is so darn clutch, isn't he? I mean, when the chips are down and there's stakes out there and runs to be driven in, Max Scherzer turns into Daniel Murphy, if you will. I think they're going to look at this at home plate. So it's 2-0 for sure. And then it was bang, bang at home. And did he tag Danny Espinosa on the knee before his cleat hit the plate? Dusty Baker looking at his pitcher saying, way to go, Max. I mean, how clutch has he been all season long at the plate? It's just, hey, you want to compete? Let's compete. Tough to tell right there. This one should give you a good look. Is that enough to overturn it? Yeah, tough to tell there where the cleat is in relationship to the plate. But it looked bang bang on that one shot we had from behind home plate. This one, what do you got? Slow it down? Ooh.
Well, you would think hard to overturn when you take so many looks.
How's Danny's ankle? I think he might have twisted it a little bit.
If it stands, Max Scherzer has 10 RBIs this year, and he does on the safe call.
Oh, there goes a no-hitter. For the last time this year, there goes a no-hitter. Almost forgot.
Isn't that crazy? 300 with runners in scoring position.
Clutch, man. He's clutch.
And by the way, still only one out. And here's Turner taking a strike. Justin Nicolino for the Marlins. Two lefties coming up. Well, after Turner, Harper behind Revere. Tom Kohler, 4 walks. All 3 men he walked in this inning have scored. That's way out in front. Look at Scherzer with the secondary lead, and he's going to be thrown out by Talise.
I'm so against that, but I guess that's the way he plays, and he's going to get a standing O coming off the field. Baseball player, man. He's a baseball player. Have you ever had you just, when he was doing that, I was thinking bad things. I'm sorry.
Turner to short. We were all holding our breath on that one.
Goodness, Max.
Moments after we were elated when Max put one cleanly up the middle. And it's 3-0 Washington.
But Max Scherzer just, I mean, happens to pitch and also play baseball. I mean, he's so clutch at the plate when there's runners in scoring position. So clutch knock, what new for Max Scherzer? Great slide by Espinosa to get in there, puts his ball club up 3-0. And I mean, I think the fact that you saw him try to take second on a ball in the dirt tells you what he's thinking about today's game. And there's the look coming around first base. What a great shot, guys. Dusty's reaction to Max. And then this is where, in my head, I didn't say it on the air, I was saying no. But he plays the game one way, he plays it hard, and then the standing ovation coming off the field. He got it in the face, too. The standing ovation was awesome coming off the field. There it is. Telling you, man, there's something special about the last game of the year. It seems like every year.
Tom Kohler is hitting. Top of the third underway. And by the way, there is a silver slugger at the pitcher's position. And Max Scherzer has 10 RBIs. That's a lot for one season.
I think Madison Bumgarner has 30 home runs, though. He might win it.
30?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's the champ. You're going to have to knock him off to win that award. But Max Scherzer, after a bunch of years in the American League, comes over here and just becomes a National League ball player. Kohler 5 for 50 this year. Slider low and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And speaking of Bumgarner and his team, the Giants 5-0 over the Dodgers at home. BCFP DK with you for the last time. 2016. Shaping up as a great day at the ballpark. Scherzer, strikeout number 3. That's 280 as he puts away Kohler. Top of the 3rd. So trying to become the 2nd pitcher in the National League with 20+ wins, way beyond the 275 strikeouts, and the opponent's batting average coming into today 193.
Look at the other
Sandy
pitcher.
Koufax.
Yeah. That other pitcher is pretty good.
Sandy Koufax's career cut short by elbow problems. But sometimes you see things you never forget. And as a kid, I got to see him pitch. And I've never seen anybody dominate a game like he did for those years when he was healthy enough to get it done. Unbelievable.
Well, I think the guy you're looking at right now, you might be witnessing a future Hall of Famer too.
It's a good thought. Got to let that go foul.
I'll go get it. He's so game on.
Trying for his 125th career win today. D. Gordon struck out first time, and now a count of 1-2 after the bunt. Slaps it right side. Zimmerman. Throw behind Max. He had to slow down to grab it. And Gordon, a base hit.
Oh, what a play by Ryan Zimmerman. And I think if he led Max, they might have got him. But, hey, the fact that he even got to this ball was a miracle, I think. Watch where this ball is hit. Watch how far he reaches. Almost behind him on an in-between hop. And he threw it to Max instead of the bag. If he'd have thrown it to the bag, I think D. Gordon's probably still safe. But what an effort by Ryan Zimmerman going to the backhand. Max is going to beat D. Gordon. At least that's what he was thinking.
Tell you what, man, this game's got him involved in everything. Here's Talise, the young catcher. Fly ball to Turner first time. D. Gordon, 29 steals in 36 attempts. So D. Gordon has 4 fewer steals than Trey Turner. Of course, he sat out a big part of the season because of a suspension. So he's looking for 30 possibly here. Off and running, off-speed pitch. Not a whole lot Jose Lobaton could do on that one.
Pretty good jump by D. Rush throw by Jose Lobaton. And I think Trey Turner and D. Gordon are going to fight it out for years for the stolen base championship. Billy Hamilton will be in there too. Those 3, right?
You'd think.
Unless I'm missing somebody.
Well, Jonathan VR of Milwaukee, who we don't see hardly at all, 61 steals this year. Hamilton 58. Starling Marte 47.
Yeah, but Trey has 33.
That's impressive.
I mean, he might flirt with a 100 stolen base season if he stays healthy.
One ball, one strike now to Talise. A beautiful job of turning one over on the left-handed batter.
Remember, this is what he did last start against the Diamondbacks. They were trying to ambush him with the fastball, and second time around, he started dropping the curveball and the change. But his fastball command here today has been way better than it was his last start. So he's got pretty much all of his arsenal at his disposal right now.
1-2 pitch. Left side on the charge. Drew scoops it. Gordon to third. 2 down.
All right, here it comes. Early 2017, the ballpark of the Palm Beaches will be the premier destination for spring training baseball in the Grapefruit League. Those people right there, they're already there. They're waiting for tickets. They can't wait for the Nats and the Astros to get there next year. So all kinds of cool stuff. For more information, visit ballparkpalmbeaches.com. Those are real people, and that's really that park. That is just lots of hair. Tons of hair. Hair for days. Even Tanner in the back.
Martin Prado, typical fashion. Base hit first time, lined one to right. Advanced on the Yelich base hit. Then with 2 outs, was caught trying to steal third. And it was not close. Front door on the slider. A beauty. Line drive and Defoe right there. Marlins have out hit the Nationals 4-1, but it's all Nats on the board, 3-0. Center, it's going, it's off the top of the wall. The Nationals win, and Jason Worth has done it again. Great moments from 2016. Worth against the Cubbies. 3-0 Nats here against the Marlins. Revere, Harper, and Zimmerman coming up. So Martin Prado made an out and leaves the ball game. Derek Dietrich takes over at third. Prado now managing the Marlins with Jeff Mathis as bench coach. Ben Revere hit the ball on the button first time. Line drive to right. Low and inside. Counts even. Kohler 52 pitches, 25 strikes through 2 long innings thanks to 4 walks. The only hit, Max Scherzer.
So what's Don doing now? Just pounding beers in the clubhouse?
He might be looking over Prado's shoulder here and there.
He should be. He's earned it. He's had a great season, done a fantastic job with the Marlins this year. And if Martin Prado's their manager, yeah, he should be like knocking back some cold ones. Yeah, there's Martin.
Martin Prado was described to me this morning by our buddy Rich Waltz.
Oh, there he is.
The Marlins TV play-by-play guy, as one of the real rocks of the team over the last week or so. Veteran guy, been with a number of ball clubs, plays at a high level, great hitter, and he's meant the world to the Marlins and some of those youngsters this week.
So has Don Mattingly. Talk about being a leader of men and taking it to a whole different level. That's exactly what Don has done the last week with that ball club.
2-2 to Ben Revere. Off speed, got him. Kohler, second strikeout. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Yeah, he's had command of his curve and his change. The fastball has eluded him today here, and he's going to the off speed a little bit more now.
Want to know to Bryce?
Bryce posted a picture of himself on Instagram today. It said, Game 162, we ain't done yet. Let's get it. Hashtag ring chasing. I like it. It's a good hashtag.
Yeah, it's a whole new chase after today. Three and one.
6 career home runs off Tom Kohler. I mean, you always have one guy you love to hit off of, and this is it for Bryce.
11 for 31 career, 11 batted in. 3-1 pitch, target in. Three-two, right in there. So the shadows of the roof over the third base grandstand reaching beyond the mound now.
I think the one thing that's really striking me about Bryce Harper's at-bats this year is, especially recently, is they end so quick. It's not even the outcome. It's not his numbers. You know, whatever. Now, you're going to have good years. You're going to have bad years. And who knows what's going on with his health. But you remember last year, he would fall off 4, 5, 6 pitches before he struck out. I mean, you're going to strike out as a power hitter. That's part of it. But this year, his at-bats are ending a lot faster. And hopefully that all changes on Friday.
Zimmerman well hit left center. Caught and then dropped by Scruggs. 2-out single, Ryan Zimmerman. Xavier Scruggs showing serious range there. Couldn't hold on.
Good swing by Ryan. This ball's roasted, and then Xavier Scruggs kind of sticks when he hits the ground. I think his knee got caught in the grass, and that made a violent landing. And then with the violent landing, the ball came out. See how hard he hits? And it was because his left knee, you see the big stain on his left knee, just stuck right into the grass. And you'd imagine after all the rain the last 2 or 3 days that it's still a little bit soggy out there.
Inning alive for Stephen Drew, who goes up hacking. Drew started the line moving, slowly as it was, but it was very effective with that leadoff walk last inning.
That was like a plane landing on an aircraft carrier catching the tail hook.
Yeah. 1-1.
Good effort.
Ball skips in. Up and in. Another long count, 3-1. And Drew, high in the air, right center, Christian Yelich. Nats have stranded a couple of runners, but they've scored 3. Now it's on to the middle innings.
Welcome back to Nationals Park. If there's been one knock against Max Scherzer this season, and there maybe has only been one, it's the number of home runs that he's given up. But if you look over the last few months, the home runs have become much less of a problem for Max than they were earlier on in the season. I did a little math, which can be a little dangerous. But in Max's first 16 starts, he gave up 20 home runs, which is 1 every 5 innings. In his last 17 starts, just 9 home runs allowed. That's 1 every 13 innings. His ERA in that 17 start span, guys, is 2.17. So keeping the ball in the ballpark, it's been a major plus for him. And I talked to Max the other day, asked him if he had any statistical marks that he hoped to reach in his last couple starts. He said, I'd like to get to 20 wins, but I'd like to get a couple knocks too. And he got that, one at least, in his first at-bat.
Yes, sir, and a couple of RBIs, Dan, attached to that. Thanks all year for your outstanding Coons.com sideline reports. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. Good looking changeup with movement on it. Clint Robinson for Ryan Zimmerman at first base.
And Dusty getting Ryan out of there with a good feeling. Base hit, his last at bat of the year. I like it. Good move.
Up in the zone, strike 2.
Both pitchers going their off-speed shadows. You can't pick up the rotation. Changeup's especially tough in these conditions to see as a hitter.
Well, you could see the scramble by Lobaton to get to that pitch. He got it, and Max gets strikeout number 4.
Stalking early today, taking a stroll right now. So he went slider, changeup, curveball for the punch out. Jose Lobaton sliding over, catching that in the air. Nicely done.
There's Justin Bour, who dropped one into left center first time. Good series, 4 for 8, couple of RBIs. Shift on. Off speed. Strike 1. It's all even at 2-2. Lobaton trying to bring it back. Nissan will track it.
Pretty close. Jose tried to frame it. He's setting up way out there. Good try.
And Scherzer misses further out on that one. That'll be his first walk today. And Justin Bour on for the second time. When you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. Brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. So our minor league player of the year, Jose Marmolejos, high A, double A, first base, 289. So good average, good pop, great RBI total, and 87 runs scored. Don't forget about Jose Marmolejos.
It's a big league name.
Here's Xavier Scruggs, bouncing ball to Drew first time.
Matter of fact, I wish my parents would have named me Jose Marmolejos. I'd have had a better career.
Jose Marmolejos Santangelo. That's a lot of syllables. Oh, 2, and he went buzzing inside with the fastball.
To throw a slider here away, possibly. Yep.
Some welcome cloud cover for the hitters, at least for a moment. Two with one out, short lead by Bohr at first.
It's number 60 coming from Max. 38 strikes, 21 balls.
Nicolino is up again. He was actually warming up in the second when Kohler was in all that trouble. That's on the inside edge. 2 outs in the fourth on strikeout number 5.
Oh, it's just filthy. Little front door slider at 85. Came back out the front corner.
There's Destin Hood. And the cloudy moment now over for this hitter. Struck out first time on a pitch in the dirt.
If his middle name was Ernie and he wanted to go like Michael A. Taylor, he'd be Destin E. Hood. Somebody thought it was funny down there. I know you didn't.
Whoever that was, you killed him with that one.
Yeah, they heard it.
High in the air, right center. Trey Turner eyeing his surroundings. And that is off the wall. We were not getting a home run call from Alan Porter. He was giving the safe sign to indicate it was still in the park. A lot of confusion around the bases. And for now, at least, it's a triple by Hood. And you can hear John Tumpain telling Martin Prado he called it in play. So to this point, a run scores. Hood's at third. But that ball took a strange hop on the top of that scoreboard.
Well, neither one of the outfielders played it. I mean, the ball was in play and they just stood there with the ball in their hand and there was runners running around.
We'll have an ump's review here.
So Bohr stopped running at third, and then we'll look at it. I think just based on the reaction by Bryce and Trey, they thought it was a home run. Where'd that hit? Did that hit past the green? Yeah, it looks like it's past it. That's why they didn't throw it in. In the old days, you could sell the call, throw it in, but with all the replay review, you can't. So I think Trey Turner and Bryce Harper showed you what they thought about this, and they'll probably call it a home run. If they don't call it a home run, that throw's got to be made. You got to get that ball into the infield.
So Destin Hood's first major league home run is confirmed, and this is a 3-2 game.
Pretty good swing by the young player for the Marlins. He let that ball travel, get deep, and drove it out of here to right for his first career home, and we got a home run and we got a ball game. Fastball, wanted it down the way, just kind of ran back right into Hood's turbo zone, and he rode it out of here, just getting it out of here. And I mean just.
Here's Echeverria. First major league home run for a young man drafted by the Nats 8 years ago.
Well, that's a guy that knows something about hitting home runs, giving you a hug on your first big league homer.
Yeah, how about that? 2 outs here in the 4th. Ichiro on deck. Kohler, 71 pitches, only 35 strikes in 3 innings, and Nicolino's been ready a couple of times. Changeup, way inside. Line drive, that's Stephen Drew. Walking a blast for the Marlins. They're back in at 3-2. And the 4th inning of Nationals baseball is brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid all-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com. Geico President's Race, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Well, he was the featured president this year. There's the final tally. Teddy the winner, and Herbie brings home the last race of the season, only his 9th of the year. Teddy goes 22 wins. That's more than a 4th of the home schedule this year. Defoe, Espinosa, Lobaton, Tom Kohler still pitching probably his last inning. Although they are back to within a run now. They had Ichiro on deck to hit for him had that 4th inning gone farther.
I'll tell you what, cool moment in San Francisco right now. I'm watching during the break. They stopped the game to salute the career of Vin Scully in San Francisco. And they played Frank Sinatra on the PA system. I did it my way.
Echeverria, great play. Defoe beats it out. And he's on for the 2nd time. Nets with their 3rd hit.
And Vin got a little choked up. Willie Mays was in the booth too. So a cool moment in San Francisco and a cool moment for Wilmer Defoe here getting the base hit. So on base twice for Wilmer. Pretty good play by Echeverria to make it that close at first. Wilmer's thinking, oh, that's up the middle. Oh, I got to go now. But I think I've told this story before, and I want to share it again about Vin. And when I was with the Dodgers, he would say my name's San Angelo. And about halfway through the season, my parents and my family were, FP, you have to tell Vin Scully he's not saying your name right. It's San Angelo. Tell him it's Santangelo. He's not pronouncing the T. So I'm hitting about $180, and who am I going to go up to Vin Scully and say, hey, I'm just glad that Vin's even saying my name. But the peer pressure from my family got so great that on a flight one day, I went up to first class and I sat next to him and I said, hey, Vin, my whole family's saying you're saying my name wrong, that it's San Angelo. And I told him that I would tell you. And he said, well, FP, I have a lot of friends in Brooklyn that spell it the same way you do, and they pronounce it San Angelo.
Defoe in there. 3 without being caught for him.
Did he come off the base? Is Martin Prado going to challenge? Pretty good jump by Defoe. He steals it outright, but does he go past the bag, and does D. Gordon or Echeverria get him right there? Watch this. So he goes past. He's safe there. He comes off there. And then it's a quick reach for the bag. And did Echeverria get him right there as he reaches back? No, they're not going to review it.
Two 2-0 to Danny Espinosa.
There would have to be a mythical challenge, but you have as many of those as you need. But he went on, Carp, to tell me that's how my last name was pronounced. Because he knew a lot of Santangelos in Brooklyn, and he wasn't going to change that. So I was FP San Angelo that whole year in Los Angeles, and I thought, well, if anybody's going to tell you how your last name is said, it's Vin Scully, and I'm just going to go with it. So I was FP San Angelo.
There's another walk. Danny Espinosa twice, and Tom Kohler 5th of the game. And Martin Prado managing is going to make a call of his own. It's not San Angelo, it's going to be Nicolino. Tom Kohler, 3 strikeouts, 5 walks. His season over after 3+ here today. And the Nats trying to answer to get a couple of those runs back. For 81 this year, they're here every day. And it's our troop recognition brought to you by DynCorp International, proudly serving our nation for 70 years. Yes, sir, Tanner, Joe, Paul, Brian. Nats love these guys and these ladies who show up at the ballpark, and we honor them, tipping our caps and applauding for them every single day. 24-year-old Justin Nicolino's made 13 starts for the Marlins this year. 3-6, 5.06 ERA. This will be his 5th appearance out of the bullpen.
A fastball, cutter, curveball change for Nicolino. Fastball averages 89. Opponents hitting .305 against the Marlins left-hander.
Marlins just got 2, and the Nats a chance for a quick answer here. Jose Lobaton, not many right-handed at-bats this year. 1 for 15, but that hit is a home run. Scherzer on deck. He's going to lay down a bunt. It's a great bunt. How many teams you see bunt with the pitcher coming up?
Well, when the pitcher's Max Scherzer and he's clutch and he's already driven in 2 of the Nats' 3 runs today, I see why Jose Lobaton was doing that. And let's check out the day of Max Scherzer. He came in leading the National League in strikeouts with 277. First of the National League in opponents on base percentage at 248. Opponents average at 193, and hits per 9 innings at just 6.29. So not only pitching but hitting and then running the bases like a madman. Tried to read the ball in the dirt, got tagged in the face, and went off to a standing ovation. Trying to do it again right here.
Oh my goodness, he's done it again! Max Scherzer has 4 RBIs. And the Nats get the runs right back.
Okay, I'm liking your Silver Slugger suggestion even more now. Max going around first. Whoops. So fired up he couldn't keep his feet, but Max Scherzer does it again. 4 RBI on the day for Max Scherzer. 4.
Did you see the whole dugout trying to stop him? That was not exactly a Jason Worth slide stop, but what a day for Max. 12 RBIs on the season. Turner, 2-0. Leave me alone.
Jack Jones would probably tell him to steal down there, and Max is like, I'm good.
5-2 Nats, 3-0 on Turner. Still only 1 out in the inning.
Well, Jack Jones is telling him to stay put. I mean, if this game doesn't personify everything that Max Scherzer is about, it's a meaningless game. They've clinched everything you could possibly clinch. The playoffs are on Friday here in D.C. He's going for win number 20, so he does have motivation, but he doesn't care. He's playing like this is Game 7 of the World Series in game number 162. Let's see it again, right back up the middle. The mound almost made it ricochet to Echeverria. But Jose Lobaton with the sacrifice bunt. Max Scherzer with another base hit. And everybody telling him, settle down, simmer down. We need you.
Nicolino now against Ben Revere in a lefty-lefty matchup.
I'll tell you what, Max Scherzer is worth every penny.
Two on, 1 out. Revere line drive to right, swinging strikeout. First career at bat against Justin Nicolino. That's up the middle. Gordon to Echeverria. And a double play on a speedy runner. 4-6-3. The Nats pick up 2. Max has driven in 4 of the 5. Inside the numbers with Jeep and Cy Young candidates. Scherzer looking for 20. John Lester had an amazing September. Johnny Cueto with 18. Kyle Hendricks of the Cubs has had one of the lowest ERAs around all year long.
Well, I mean, if he's put an exclamation point on it right now, in my opinion, based on the highlight package everybody's going to see tonight is what he's done here today, not just on the mound but at the plate too. So he's going to be fresh in everybody's mind when they go to do their ballot tonight. I think Jose Fernandez might get some sentimental votes in it, but I think it's Max Scherzer's to lose. I think he's the leader just based on all the strikeouts and all the other categories that you really look at when you're voting.
Nice ovation from the Nats fans for Ichiro here. He's going to pinch hit for Nicolino and lead off the top of the 5th. 3,029 big league hits. Took care of that recently. The 3,000 mark.
Well, if you're wondering how long Dusty's going to let Max go today, I think it's just based on like any other game. Maybe he's not pitching until next Friday. So he's going to have extra days rest.
Ichiro 11 for 42 career with an RBI against Max.
That's normal days rest now that I think about it.
Yeah. It's not like Ichiro's just taking up space on that roster. He's hitting 288 this year. Well, he's going to add to that with his 95th base hit of the season. Got a lot of playing time when Giancarlo was hurt.
I've been saying this for a while, that Martin Prado just presses all the right buttons. He really does. He's on top of it as a manager. Good swing by Ichiro. I mean, that's cool for Nats fans that came to the ballpark today to see a future Hall of Famer.
Yep.
And a 3,000 hit guy. Very cool.
D. Gordon, top of the order. He's going to lay down a bunt. Lobaton points to first. Scherzer to Robinson for the out. Bunting for a hit, but they'll give him a sacrifice.
Most popular way to follow the Nats in the postseason is with MLB.com @bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy game day, live game video highlights, and StatCast at MLB.com @bat on your favorite device now.
There's Tomas Tilis, the catcher. Fly ball to center. Bouncing ball to third. Marlins have 6 base hits, counting Suzuki's here.
See, I'm all for the base hit bunt that's ruled a sacrifice based on the score. So if it's a 1-run game and you lay down a base hit bunt and it gets a guy to second, it's a sacrifice. Sure. Even though in your head you're doing the whole, if I do it real well here, I get a hit. But when you're down by 3 and you lay down a base hit bunt, that can't be ruled a sacrifice, because that run at second base isn't a factor, so to speak, I guess. I don't know.
That ball's well hit by Tilis. Trey Turner after it. And that is gone, it appears. So they've hit a couple of wall scrapers, and it's 5-4 now. And for Tilis, first home run of the year, and that's his first major league homer.
Yeah, it looked like a slider that just kind of spun in there, and Tilis caught it out front and gave it a ride. So the kids doing it for the Marlins here today, they don't know anybody better. I don't think they even know who they're facing. It's a pretty good guy to have your first big league home run off of, and there's 2 guys in the Marlins dugout that can say that today.
And both of them will not have to negotiate to get their baseballs. There's Derek Dietrich, first at bat of the day after Prado, who is the manager for Don Mattingly today, got a base hit first time and then took himself out of the game when he lined out hard to Defoe in the third. Dietrich 0 for 8 in the series. And 3 for 14 career with a home run against Max Scherzer. Two and two. That's going to drop in left. 3 hits for the Marlins here in the 5th. And we've talked about this so many times. This ball club has fought the Nats like nobody else in the division has this year. The season series is 9-9. It's 4-4 in this ballpark. And now it's a 5-4 game. Christian Yelich 1 for 2. Strike call. That ball laced into the right field corner. Dietrich heading for third. Lenny Harris is going to send him. Throw misses the cutoff man, and the hitter is going to end up at third. This is a tie game.
Well, out of nowhere. I mean, you're thinking Max Scherzer has command of this game. He's doing it everywhere, on the mound, at the plate. And the Marlins have taken advantage of a couple sliders up in the zone. Ball kind of sits down there. Bryce has to reach in and get it, and then just launches a nasty slider. He's been throwing sliders, and I've never seen him do that before. We had a shot of him from right the other night. He threw one to third that was a nasty slider, and that one too. Did you see how much that ball moved?
Yeah, way over the first cutoff man. Then the Nats had to corral that thing to keep Yelich, who is very fast, from possibly going beyond third base.
That tells me he's cutting off his throws. If he's throwing sliders, he's getting to his release point and cutting off his throws.
5 of the last 7 Marlins have hit safely. 2 home runs, a triple in there. Infield in. Yelich at third. 1 out. The hitter Justin Bour.
And normally I wouldn't say, and you know my thoughts on this, Carp, that running the bases twice would affect a pitcher. But I'm wondering if running the bases twice like a maniac like Max did this late in the season and his last start has had some effect. Or maybe it was just a lot of adrenaline coming out after those 2 hits. But it seems like for whatever reason after that last hit he's a different pitcher this inning. And maybe he's just tired. Maybe he's spent.
2 on, 1 out. Righty-righty matchup here with Xavier Scruggs, who has grounded out to third and taken a called third strike. And Max is at 87 pitches. Now the last 4 just tosses, but it's been a hard afternoon for him with the Marlins on offense. They've made him throw a lot of pitches. Up in the zone. Strike one. Trevor Gott up for the Nationals.
You know, whatever happens this inning, you hope that Max can just finish it so he can have a chance at 20, even if the Marlins do take the lead right here. He needs to finish this inning.
Needing the strikeout, the pop-up, or a grounder right at somebody.
That's how he won his 19th game. Remember Anthony Rendon coming up after he came out of the game and going deep. So just get out of this inning. There's a huge strikeout.
Here's Destin Hood, whose swing last inning really changed the afternoon. And that's where it had 3-0. He comes up, goes opposite field, and after the umpire review, awarded the home run on the ball over the right center scoreboard.
And there's also one more interesting piece to this whole puzzle that you might want to stick around for today. DJ LeMahieu's not playing for the Rockies. He's out of their lineup. He's sat out for like a month now.
Yeah.
Trying to get that batting title. Talked to Dusty Baker today. If he sees the right spot, Daniel Murphy's going to get a chance to hit. And if Daniel Murphy goes up there and pinch hits and goes 1 for 1 and LeMahieu's not playing, Daniel Murphy wins the batting title.
And there would be a lot of justice in that.
And I mean, speaking from my heart, I couldn't win a batting title by not playing. It's just not how I'm made up. And I think that's the sentiment of a lot of players. So wouldn't it be cool if Daniel Murphy got an at-bat, got a base hit, and was hitting 349 or 348 point whatever, and won the title? So stay tuned. That may happen.
And another interesting twist is that game in Colorado is running at full inning, almost an inning and a half ahead of this game. So if he doesn't play at all, and Murphy does what you and I and everybody are hoping for, there'd be a lot of justice in that. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Scherzer trying to get Hood. Not biting on the slider.
And I don't think Daniel Murphy particularly cares right now. At least that's what I'm hearing. But he will 10 years from now, and it's not every year that you can qualify or have a chance to win a batting title in the National League. That's a big deal, man. And so I hope it happens. I just thought I'd throw that out there, and it's something to look for later in this game. Maybe as soon as next inning.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Scruggs hanging in there.
There's Wilson. Smile on his face. Good to see the Buffalo in there.
Two runners at the corners. And the game's still tied. Scherzer, 7 Ks on the day, 284 on the year. Marlins come storming back, and it's a 5-5 game. Well, Max Scherzer, such a competitor, obviously not happy. Gave up 5 runs on 5 hits in his last 2 innings, including the 2 devastating homers, first of their big league careers by Hood and Talise.
For every Nats walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support Girls on the Run DC. The Nats have 534 walks this year for a total of $26,700. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
24-year-old Austin Bryce. Nats saw a little bit of him in the series last week in Miami. 15th appearance, 5.5 ERA. 9 runs, 8 earned in his first 13 big league innings.
Yeah, fastball, slider, curveball for Bryce. Fastball 94, and it's Bryce versus Bryce. Round 2. They faced each other in Florida.
Harper a ground out in that at bat. Got Harper up swinging. By the way, that game in San Fran, Giants still ahead. 5-1, bottom of the 5th, and Pittsburgh just got 2 in the 5th at St. Louis. They're going to the 6th. They lead the Cardinals 2-1. If either of those scores holds up, it's over, and the Giants are in to play the Mets.
It's over for who?
The wild card race is over.
Oh, all right.
Harper serves one to left. He's going to hustle around first and head for second.
That was a good swing. There's a red towel you're going to see on Friday, waving it around and around and around. 24th double of the year for Bryce. And he got something up out over the plate, gets on top of it, and just letting it get deep. Good swing. Getting on top of the baseball and just kind of serving it to left. I like that approach.
Well, there's step 1 toward getting back up on the scoreboard and getting Scherzer back on top. Here's Clint Robinson facing Bryce for the first time. That ball left field and tailing foul.
This is huge. You're talking about a 20-win season right here, right now. I don't know if Max is going to go out for the 6th. I don't see a whole lot of action in the Nats bullpen. I think he's done. He's got a chaw in. He's done.
Robinson, that'll move the runner. D. Gordon keeps it from scoring the runner. Harper to third with 1 out.
Drama in game 162. Pretty good play by D. Gordon. I thought that was 6-5 Nats taking a hit away from Clint Robinson, but he got the job done, and now it falls to Stephen Drew.
Drew a walk, a run scored, and a fly ball to center. Infield in. 5-5 game, bottom 5. Curveball in there. Did he go? No, says Jeff Kellogg. Trevor Gott joined by Oliver Perez. And Stephen Drew hit by that pitch. So now it's Wilmer Defoe to attempt that RBI.
Back ankle, foot. All right, now it's up to Wilmer to try to drive in the run.
A walk, a single, a steal. He has scored twice. Well, Max drove him in twice. Defoe a chance to put Max on top. Good take on the low fastball.
You know, driving to the ballpark today, I was just thinking, wow, last game, it's clinched, the home field, stress-free. It's just a stress-free game today. And now here we are with a huge at-bat to potentially get Max Scherzer his 20th win.
Chopper right side. Coming home is Harper. Defoe will deliver the RBI. And the Nats are back on top.
Okay. So Max Scherzer in line for the win now. 6-5 Nats. Wilmer Defoe getting the job done. Doesn't matter how it looks. 6-5 Nats. See if he decides to steal second here sometime early in the count.
Danny Espinosa, 2 walks, 2 runs. He's driven in 70 on the year.
Lurking.
Pitcher spot, 2 hitters away.
Can you imagine one at bat for a batting title?
Espinosa, deep right center. See you later. And the Nats are back up by 3.
That was clutch. I mean, this has been some kind of entertaining game, hasn't it? My goodness, what more do you want in game 162?
Jose Lobaton. And Daniel Murphy is going to hit for Lobaton here.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Listen to this.
The Marlins do not have a left-hander warmed up here.
One at bat for the batting title, potentially. This is outstanding.
Curveball, ball 1.
I'm nervous for him up here. My goodness.
And if it gets to 2 strikes or 3 balls and it's close, hack. One ball, 1 strike. The Colorado game is in the 6th inning. Murphy trying to deliver here. And 1-1 count has been profitable for him. 2-1.
Come on.
Right field corner, but hooking. Ah. Two-two pitch.
He's hit on the field the last couple of days. He's been hitting in the cage for about 4 or 5 days before that. So it's not like he's just been sitting around. He's been keeping his swing right. Talked to Rick Shue about it yesterday.
Murphy to right. Destin Hood waiting for it. And I'm sure that news will reach Colorado. Murphy had one near line drive down the right field line. So the inning is over. The Nats get 3 thanks to Danny Espinosa's icing on the cake 2-run homer to take a 3-run lead. So on to the 6th we go. The Nats have a big lead again. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. We've seen too much of that this week. Diamond dry. Today a beautiful, spectacular baseball day at the Yard. And we're going to the top of the 6th. Trevor Gott out of the Nationals bullpen, 24-year-old right-hander. 6th inning. On Friday night, he pitched to one batter and popped up Jeff Francoeur. So for Gott, 9th appearance with the Nats, a 1.69 ERA.
His job to protect win number 20 for Max Scherzer. It's just way more drama than I was anticipating driving to the ballpark today. This has been some kind of ball game.
He's got some serious movement on that fastball. Echeverria. Chris. Is that Chris Johnson on deck? Check it out. Heisey in left. Revere to center. Turner to short. And the ball finds him. To his left. On the run. Well done by Trey Turner.
Okay. Maybe he can pitch the 7th.
Chris Johnson now pinch hitting.
He's been taking his ground balls during batting practice, but the Nats haven't hit in a while because of all the rain. So Trey Turner goes to shortstop, and it's just like that easy for him. On the run, going into center, flipping it back to Robinson, not a problem.
Chris Johnson for the pitcher, Austin Bryce. 2 Hopper. Guess who? 2 outs.
You know what happens when you go from shortstop to center field? You're used to the long throw all of a sudden. You know, you're trying to throw guys out at home. You know, you're up against the wall hitting a cutoff man a long way. You come back into the infield, and that throw that you've made your whole life from short to first looks way shorter. And all of a sudden your arm's stronger because you've been throwing longer distances.
So Gott comes in, gets his 2 men. Oliver Perez was warming up earlier. Left-handed D. Gordon coming up. And Trevor Gott, that's needing 12 outs when he came in. Now it's down to 10 in a hurry. Turner to center. Did he get it? Yes, he did. Game over.
Are you kidding me? What else can Trey Turner do for you?
5-4 win over the Phillies. The end of a 9-pitch at bat. And Trey Turner hit one 432 feet to beat the Phils 5-4. Oliver Perez and D. Gordon here. Big curve, strike 1. Oliver's retired him once in this series already. Gordon 1 for 5 career against him. Nathio Gondo next out of the Marlins pen. 64th appearance for Oliver Perez. 38 2/3 innings. And a breaking ball popped into center. Right between Turner and Revere. Hard to drop one in between those two, and D. Gordon is 2 for 3 today.
See how far Trey Turner went for that from shortstop? He was in short center field. I think he thought for a second he was playing center field again. Watch Trey Turner in the range right here. And I think if Ben Revere wasn't there, he might have sold out for that, but he thought, I don't need to be running into anybody in game 162, but that was impressive seeing that range.
Absolutely. Now here's Gordon, who has stolen 1 today, but they're down by 3. Tomas Telis, the hitter, facing Oliver Perez for the first time. Another lefty, Dietrich, on deck. Yelich behind him. Nats don't want it to go that far, obviously. Reynaldo Lopez, he of the outstanding long relief lately, getting ready in right field. And Mercedes-Benz will track the at-bat or the pitch, or both. Oh, 1 with 2 outs, and he throws it by him. Oliver Perez getting up there at 92.
That was one of the cooler moments at Nats Park this year. Dusty Baker pinch hitting Daniel Murphy for Jose Lobaton on a guy he thought he could handle for 1 shot at the batting title. And in my humble opinion, I think it's sad that that had to happen based on what's happened in Colorado.
I don't know anybody east of the city limits of Colorado who would disagree with you. And I'm right there with you. I mean, a year-long award, go out and earn it.
Plus, you're playing Colorado. That's, I mean, it rains hits there.
That's a fastball that just flies to the backstop.
Well, John Tampain has been having a tough day today. I thought that was a strike. He needs to bear down on pitches like this. What did Pitch Track have to say? Yeah, I mean, that's right in the box. I don't know what he's looking at back there.
Stayed on the screen, our screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Tried to bring the curveball around and it stayed away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Out there again. This is the best time right now for a shutdown inning. Nats have just retaken the lead by 3. trying to keep the Marlins off the board. And that will get it done. Oliver Perez tripling up on the curveball, and he gets the strikeout. Miami stranding 6 runners today, 8-5 Nats.
Lead here in game 162. A number of younger players will be making this Nationals postseason roster. Trey Turner probably paramount among them. Dusty Baker was asked the other day whether he started talking to his younger guys and prepping them for what postseason baseball might bring. He said, I'm prepping them every day. I'm telling them it doesn't matter how old you are. It's about how you control your nerves. And there's a saying that Dusty learned from Hank Aaron that he's recited a few times this year when it comes to his younger players. It says you can be nervous, but don't be scared. And that's one thing that he wants his players, especially his younger players, to keep in mind as we get towards the postseason. As far as playing younger guys in the playoffs, Dusty said, I'm not afraid to run these kids out there. It's all about ability. It's all about how you control the nerves. He has faith in Trey Turner and Reynaldo Lopez and a lot of the younger guys on this roster that they can make an impact in October, guys.
All right, Dan, with our Coons.com sideline report, over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. Chris Izey in on the double switch to play left. Leads off against Nefi Ogando here. First pitch pop-up left side. Echeverria, the shortstop.
So a little story I want to share with everybody. Every year in spring training, we have a friendly TV crew wager. And we pick how many wins the Nats are going to have when we're in Vieira. The first time we all see each other, we get together and we all pick a number. This year, I picked number 95. I said they're going to win 95 games. So I want to brag about how awesome I am and that I absolutely nailed it, hopefully. But either way, I won the pool. And so it had to make it on the air, right?
I don't know. I think there's a humility clause in there.
Nope. I'm so proud of that pick right now that I had to share it with everybody.
Turner right side to Gordon. 2 outs.
I mean, you talk about nailing it. I mean, they had played like one spring training game. I
had 92, and I kept rooting for them to win.
No, that's a good number.
You know that.
Of course, I took the highest. I think there's some guys in the truck that picked 60-something. 60 and 102, I think, was one of them. No, I'm just kidding. They were all right around 90 in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, there were mostly optimistic picks. It was a good year for that.
But hooray for me.
Ben Revere, 0 for 3 today. Fastball up, 2-0.
Thanks for congratulating me, Carp. I appreciate that. That was real nice of you.
What's that?
I said, thanks for congratulating me. That was real nice. I appreciate that.
Well, I think you did a pretty good job of it yourself.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm not bitter because I had 92 and lost.
You just went to, I picked 92. Oh, you're right. I did a good job of congratulating myself.
Revere slaps it out to short. Echeverria shaded up the middle in this one into the 7th inning. Still some outs to get to accomplish something great for a certain starter. $17 Nets Plus memberships on sale now. Join for the only way to guarantee postseason tickets this week. Enjoy the exclusive experiences, rewards, and access that membership provides. Call 202-675-NATS or log on to nationals.com/Nats Plus. Right now, 8-5 Washington, top of the 7th. And you're thinking for at least 2 more hitters, Oliver Perez stays. Lefties Dietrich and Yelich. And the front door curveball stays inside. Dietrich not exactly shying away from that one. He's been hit by a lot of pitches this year. How about 24? Most in the league. Danny Espinosa at 20. Brandon Guyer, now with the Indians, has been hit by 31 pitches this year. And a good hook. Counts even, 2-2. Hunter Cervenka, one of their 3 lefties. Harper, Robinson, and Drew in the 7th for the Nats, so perfect time for a southpaw. And Dietrich reaching, able to stay alive. Miami box score. The Nats were in command. Destin Hood, first big league homer, 2-run shot, 4th inning. Tomas Talis, the catcher, first major league home run, 2-run shot, 5th inning. Max left the game and his teammates went out and got him 3 runs.
That's why those strikeouts were so big for Max to end the 5th when he struck out Scruggs and Hood back to back to keep it a 5-5 game and to give him a chance to win.
Yep. So Max will finish the season with 284 strikeouts.
I had that in the pool too, by the way. Right on the nose.
Chopper left side. Foul ball. Very close to bouncing over the bag. Jeff Kellogg raising his arm saying foul.
Boy, I mean, from where we're sitting, it looked like it was fair. And we do have a pretty good view up here. I mean, that looks fair even on the replay. But we decided yesterday that Jeff Kellogg never misses a call.
Flawless behind the plate.
He was. According to Pitch Track, there was a lot of hitters arguing. Wayne Chen didn't like some of his calls, but according to Pitch Track, he was dead on the whole game. For whatever that's worth.
Pardon me. 2-2 to Dietrich again. Front door breaking ball jammed him. Bryce Harper came in hard for about 5 steps, stopped and made the catch. Now it's Perez against Yelich. Good day for Christian Yelich. Single first time, triple third time with an RBI attached, and he's driven in 98. 2 for 3 career against Oliver Perez. Defoe. 2 outs. And now Justin Bour in a lefty-lefty.
A couple of big outs for Oli Perez. Probably given his manager Dusty Baker some confidence moving forward. But here's a big one too.
Yeah, Bour's never faced him. Shift on. Drew hanging out. Not 25 feet off the third base bag. Well, the Orioles have taken care of their business today. The Tigers are still in it, but they have a makeup game that might become necessary tomorrow against Cleveland. That ball trying to hug the line and goes foul.
I heard Buck brought in Zach Britton in the 8th inning for a 2-inning save. Game 162 strategy. When you have the best closer in baseball, bring him in. I love it.
And a lot of tension. Toronto at Boston, 1-1 game after 7. Swing and a miss, and Oliver Perez bouncing off the mound and running to the dugout. He retires 4 in a row and gets this game to the 7th inning stretch. Nationals baseball on Masson. Brought to you by American Standard Heating and Air. It's their all-star sales event with up to $1,100 in instant rebates or 0% APR for 36 months. And by Roy Rogers. Check out their lineup: roast beef, fried chicken, and burgers. Visit RoyRogersRestaurants.com. Well, the next time they sing this song, the place will be full. It'll be rocking. That'll be at some point on Friday. They don't know anything about game times yet, but it will be rocking.
Become a Nats Insider for free today and get NLCS tickets before the general public. Visit nationals.com/postseason for details. Don't miss out. Hey, you're welcome. Thank you for all the support this year. You want to tell them, Carb?
See you later.
Nice.
Nice. This is Hunter Cervenka out of the Miami bullpen. 26-year-old lefty. And he'll be making his 18th appearance, 5.5 ERA. Some major league time earlier this year. 50 games with the Braves before coming over in a 3-player deal. All right. We are poised to do a lot of reporting for you from Nationals Park and on the road during the playoffs. Hour-long shows before and after every playoff game. Johnny and Ray, P&I, and Dan will be doing all that with you. Game day reports from here and Dodger Stadium. Players and press conferences. And a preview show Thursday at 7 p.m. to kick the whole thing off.
Brought his glove. Gamer. That's what I'm talking about.
Bryce Harper and Hunter Cervenka here, bottom of the 7th. Bryce 0 for 1 career against him.
Yeah, Bryce going to see a fastball at 93, a slider at 88, and a curveball at 79.
Well, Harper got that huge 5th inning underway, serving that line drive down the left field line that got their Nats on their way to a 3-run frame. Harper, Robinson, Drew. Nats have benefited from 6 walks today. And of those 6, 4 have scored. 3-1 to Bryce. Ooh, good rip. So the Nats box. Turner a couple of walks. The aforementioned Harper double. And then some lumber from down toward the order. Defoe's been on a couple of times, scored 3 runs. Espinosa, Danny after 2 walks, the big 2-run homer. Sack fly from Lobaton and Max Scherzer, 4 RBIs. 3-2 to Harp. Left field. Xavier Scruggs. First out, 7th inning. Dodgers did not score in the 8th at San Francisco. The Giants are 3 outs away with a 5-1 lead from playing the Mets as the wild card teams. In St. Louis, 5-4 Cardinals after 7, but nothing they can do if the Giants win. Lefty, Clint Robinson now. He moved Harper over to third 2 innings ago from where Bryce scored on the Defoe fielder's choice grounder. He's going to get a knock of his own here. Clint Robinson 1 for 2. And in this series, 3 for 5.
I just don't think of him as a 230-something hitter. It's so weird the way my mind works when he's in the batter's box. The way I see him, he's a high 2s, low 300 hitter. And I know maybe, the spot starts and the pinch hits start to add up over time in 6 months where it messes with your average. His average is much higher as a starter, but I just don't look at that guy as a 230 hitter at all in any way because he can hit.
Here's Drew. Switch hitting Defoe on deck, then the pitcher's spot. Odrisamer Despaigne. Two 2-0. And this one lifted out to short center. Christian Yelich. 2 down. Defoe next. Homer Defoe from the right side of the plate, 5 for 18. That's where his homer came from. Another ball game of interest. They're in the 9th inning at Atlanta. Braves lead the Tigers 1-0, and if Detroit doesn't win, they're done. Toronto has taken a 2-1 lead at Boston. So the Orioles would go to Toronto.
Where they just gave the Blue Jays all they could handle, right? Didn't they take 2 or 3?
I believe so. That's if Toronto holds on to win, of course. And a bouncer out to short. Echeverria to a knee. That's it for the Nats in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Eight to 5 Nats as they go for win number 95 on the year. Who would have thought that? The Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season.
Now Reynaldo Lopez.
See the arsenal. Fastball mid to upper 90s. Curveball probably his best secondary pitch, but the changeup has looked really nice of late. Pitching to contact, getting lots of ground balls. Lefty's hitting just 174 against Reynaldo Lopez this year. How about that?
Now the field all in the shade now. 5:56 local time, top of the 8th inning. Lopez. Well, very close to $55,000 on Toyota Case for Kids this year. $54,575. Ripping away Xavier Scruggs.
A lot of finals out there already, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games are done. I love the last day of the season starting all the games at the same time. Whoever thought of that's a genius.
Great call.
Maybe one of the best new moves the league has made in a long time.
Ball ripped. Left side. Steven Drew for the first out. Scruggs retired. Countdown is on. 5 outs to go. Next up, Destin Hood.
My last new rule of the year on game 162. If you're competing for a batting title and you pinch hit and make an out, you can pinch hit one more time.
Love to invoke that right now.
I don't know if it would make a difference though. 1 for 2. I think it had to be a 1 for 1. Go deep inside the numbers this season. 4 pitchers with 170 plus strikeouts. It's the 4th team to do it all time in the history of the big leagues. The 2015 Indians, the 90 Mets, the 69 Astros. How about that? Nice job, Mike Maddox. Nice job, Nat's staff.
284 Scherzer, 172 Roark, 171 Gio. Steven Strasburg, 183. You think about the time he missed, and he had 183 Ks. He would be way over 200. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Lopez to Destin Hood. 1 for 3 with a home run. Got jammed. Here comes Turner. Pretty smooth over there, and they called the runner safe. Alan Porter eyeballing it. Nats have a challenge.
I mean, he looked out from up here, but I don't know what Chris Spire is motioning at here. Let's see it again. I thought I heard glove and foot. Maybe I was wrong. Trey with a little trouble on the transfer. Couldn't tell right there. Maybe this will help us out a bit. Maybe this will help us out a bit. I think he's out. He looked out first time.
Challenge coming.
It's just got to touch any part of his glove, and that's where you're looking at. And then be secure in the back end. So if it just nicks the front, that's what they're looking at in New York right now. And I think that hit a part of his glove before it got to the back that beat the runner. We'll see.
Crowd reacting to what they're seeing. 3-run game. If the Marlins keep this runner, one more guy on gets the tying run in the box. So very important here. 5 outs to go.
Do you think they're always all official on the headsets from New York? Like, oh, we're checking it, we're looking at some different. Or do they ever go, hey, dude, seriously with that call? Like, were you trying? Were you paying attention? Like, you know, like buddies do to each other. I would love to hear this feed every once in a while.
Infield hit for Destin Hood, and he's 2 for 4.
Probably too close to overturn, but I thought he's out, and I still think he's out. And next door, they're probably saying, he was so safe, it wasn't even close. Why are they even challenging it?
Big at bat for Echeverria here, with the second baseman, Jeffrey Perez, on deck. 1 on, 1 out, 8th inning. Giants, by the way, putting an exclamation point on some things in San Fran. They're now ahead 7-1 on the Dodgers in the 8th inning. Poised to sweep that series. And if they win it, they go to New York to play the Mets. The ball's well hit to right. Harper drifting with it right in front of the track. Bryce with the grab. 2 outs. Johnny Holiday and Ray Knight. That's Extra Post-Game Show presented by W.B. Mason. When the regular season is over. Two outs and Perez. Nissan will track it.
Change up. Good pitch.
Target. Outer half. Hard hit. Defoe. Off of his glove into right center. Hustling into second, Perez. And now things get a little more interesting in the 8th inning. Hood to third. We'll see how they score it. Ball was scorched.
Yeah, it handcuffed Wilmer. He was in between a backhand and a forehand. Watch this ball just jump on him. He probably should have went to the backhand, and I think the speed kind of tricked him a little bit. I got that as a hit, but Wilmer will tell you he could have made that play. And look who's getting walked.
Giancarlo Stanton in the pitcher's spot.
Yeah, why even mess with a guy that can hit it 800 feet tying the game? Goes against the book putting the tying run on, but this is a good move by Dusty Baker regardless of what happens behind it.
Yeah, they gave Perez a 2-base hit on that. Well, it'll come down to Reynaldo Lopez. Still a pup in the big leagues against a young catcher, Talise. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 8th inning. Mike Maddox will go to the mound. At least he was about 20 feet out of the dugout and did a U-turn.
So did Martin Prado pinch hit Stanton to get walked right there? Or did Don Mattingly tell him what to do?
It's a good question. Here comes Maddox.
And that might have been a learning experience for Martin Prado. Oh, wait, they're not going to pitch to him? Still got the bases loaded, though, and the tying run on first, so it wasn't the worst move. But I'm sure Don Mattingly's over there saying, hey, listen to me for a second. This is what we're doing. That's where you got to back up if you're in the Nats outfield. That run at first is the only one that matters. Nothing can be hit over your head. No doubles.
Solis left side of the plate, 2 for 7. Off speed. Severino sliding to control it. Base hit. It's going to make this a 1-run game. The Marlins storming back for the 3rd time today, and it's 8-7.
A nice piece of hitting. We got ourselves a ball game. Dusty Baker going to play some matchup baseball now. And the Marlins won't go away.
Sammy Solis has been warming up next to Melanson, and here comes the lefty. Zimmerman's got it. That's a double play. It's going to be a triple play. The Nationals will turn a 3-5 triple play. Memorable moment for the Nats on the road. Now right now some tension in the ballpark. 8th inning, 8-7 game. Sammy Solis will face Jeff Francoeur, who bats for Derek Dietrich here. And they're also running for Giancarlo at second base. In there.
Sammy was on the mound for that triple play. That's how we just tied it all in. It's tremendous producing, Chip Winfield. Opponent's hitting .212 against Sammy Solis and his fastball, curveball, changeup combination.
Swing and a miss on a heater up.
Throwing higher.
Here's Miguel Rojas running for Stanton at second. Breaking ball. And Frank Cord just got a piece of it.
Boy, crowd's into it today. This is great. They're all on their feet. They're cheering for a strikeout. They thought that was strike 3. Good crowd making a lot of noise on the last game of the year. I love it.
They have seen action, action, action at this one today. 8-7. And Sammy Solis will keep it that way. Strikes out Frank Cord. This one to the bottom of the 8th. The Giants are celebrating in San Francisco, and the Nats are trying to hold on for Max Scherzer here. Coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. It's official. The Giants and the Mets at Citi Field will play in the wild card game. Winner gets the Cubs. Dodgers coming here. So it's all over in the National League as far as the playoff picture is concerned.
I got Davidson coming out of that bracket.
I've got Washington. Let's hope.
Nice.
All right, bottom of the 8th. Brian Ellington, the 6th Miami pitcher of the day. Pitcher spot due up first.
This guy's dirty, and you're thinking maybe he's the closer of the future for the Marlins just based on what you've seen. Fastball average is 98. He can touch triple digits. His curveball is 87, throws an occasional changeup at 88. But I think when this guy figures it out and maybe has a little better command of his fastball and just doesn't throw it down the middle and can pitch to a corner, he's going to make a lot of money as a closer.
Pedro Severino, as far as the lineup goes, replaced Danny Espinosa. When he came in back in the 6th.
He always has fun playing baseball, doesn't he? I love watching him play.
That ball is hammered to left, and it takes off on Scruggs. Pedro Severino. Some of the loudest noise today.
If you talk about a wild card and an X factor in the playoffs, you might be looking at him right here. I mean, he just comes into the ball game, makes something happen instantly, turns a high 90s fastball around for a leadoff double by Pedro Severino. He's digging it, and so are we. How about this?
First major league at bat for Spencer Kieboom. He just got the call to be the Nats' third catcher when Wilson Ramos got hurt. Spencer, 25 years old, out of the Atlanta area. was an outstanding catcher at Clemson.
I mean, it's his first at bat, and all the fans are saying boom. Can you hear that?
Cool. .280 hitter in the minor leagues. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Looks like a catcher, doesn't he?
Yep. Batting average down a little bit this year from what he had done in previous seasons. Getting adjusted to a higher level of ball. 5th rounder back in 12.
His brother is a Nats first-round pick, shortstop.
Yeah, Carter.
Lots of catchers.
3-1 to the rookie. Way outside. He'll take a base on balls in his first big league at bat. Next up, Chris Heisey. Huge situation here now. Marlins have come back. The Nats have had a couple of answers for them today. And now in a 1-run game, trying to pad the lead again. Heisey showing bunt, pulling it back. Mark Melanson. Nats will be ahead when he comes in. The margin remains to be seen here. Heisey will pop it up. Infield fly rule in effect. Perez the catch, 1 out. Most hits per game for rookies since the start of the last century. Shoeless Joe still on top of so many lists.
I haven't heard any of those guys. I know who Lloyd Wainer is, or Wainer. What a list. Are you kidding me? Shoeless Joe Jackson, Ichiro, and Joe DiMaggio, and then just throw Trey Turner in there at the bottom. How about that? Come on. Is that any good?
Amazing what he's done. 0 for 2, 2 walks and a steal today, and Trey takes it up and in. Just dipping at the last moment, 2-0.
This could be loud. Get out there in front of a fastball and buggy whip it around the pole. Why not?
Inside, 3-0.
The Rockies are in the 10th. Maybe Walt Weiss has to use his bench.
That would be interesting, to say the least.
Maybe they play 17 innings and the baseball gods make him use his whole bench.
And some of them might get more than one at bat. Turner up the middle, base hit. Severino flying home. The Nats lead 9-7. For Trey Turner, RBI number 40. He wasn't going to go hitless in the last day of the season, was he?
Trey time. Leg kick nice and slow. Catches the fastball out in front. Drives in his 40th run of the year. Trey time. That's a good uni too. Filthy, rotten, and dirty. I love it.
Ben Revere 0 for 4 today. Still only 1 out. So Melanson will have at least a 2-run cushion.
So it's a big win. You win a couple of games in a row. You're feeling good about yourself through the off days. The Dodgers are going to fly to D.C., haven't been swept by the Giants. So if you're a believer in momentum and all this stuff, you'd have to say advantage Nats.
Dodgers will end the season losing 5 of their last 6. Remember the help the Padres gave the Nats.
And they also end the season 38-43 on the road. 38-43 in the gray unis.
Decisive win for the Giants today.
I'm hearing from my daughter at home that Vin Scully's goodbye was super emotional, so I'm looking forward to seeing that after.
Giants did a good job of honoring him. 2-0. Revere with a base hit. Key boom scoring. 10-7 Nats. And Ben Revere gets his 24th RBI.
A nice piece of hitting by Ben Revere, going 5.5 hole. And it's just so nice to see the minor league reports come to life in front of your eyes. You've been hearing about the kid crossing home plate for a long time, so he gets his first big league at bat, walks, scores a run. And even though he didn't get a hit, that's pretty cool. So congratulations.
He is very outgoing, gregarious, thrilled to be in the big leagues because he was done for the season, and all of a sudden, boom, here he is.
All those kids sitting together, they came up together, they've won together at every level, and now they're sitting on a big league bench together. That is what it's all about, folks. That's how you win for a long time.
Bryce Harper 1 for 4 today. A double that jump-started a 3-run 5th-inning rally. Sean Burnett is also up.
The whole ballpark doing the NATS, Nats today. Outstanding. Don't be afraid to do that in the playoffs, too. That was cool.
Harper, but it's way foul.
Where is this going to land?
Sorry, buddy. He was the only one tracking it, and he didn't get it.
Oh. Yeah, that was a location mistake, and Bryce tattooed it. Designer strike. Probably going to get off-speed pitch here, I'm thinking. Change up.
1 ball, 1 strike. Evidently not feeling really good about the pull side on those last 2 pitches.
Was he using Trey Turner's bat? Because that looks like the same model. Yes, he is.
There's a 7. 3-1 to Bryce. Clint Robinson on deck.
It could just be that it feels good in his hands, or he's so superstitious that he's thinking, well, if it's working for him, there's hits in these bats. I know it's a lot smaller model than he's used to using. Lighter.
And they walk Harper, bases loaded. Second walk of the inning. Let's do a tail of the tape on the Dodgers and the Nats. We did this the other day, and a lot of similarities. Pitching change coming here, by the way. So the winning percentage, although the Dodgers just not good on the road. Nats second in all of the National League in ERA. Runs per game similar. Both are good fielding teams. Nats have been #1 all year. Right now #2 to the Giants. Dodgers here Friday. We're not sure what time, but doesn't matter. He'll be in there. You'll be excited. The district will be rocking. And now a pitching change with Clint Robinson coming up, bottom of the 8th. Clint Robinson waiting to bat with the bases loaded, 1 out. Odrisamer Despaigne, former Padre, the Marlins' 7th pitcher today.
A fastball cut, fastball, curveball change from Despaigne. Fastball averages 93. Got a little arm side run to it. It's a good matchup for Clint Robinson. He'll see something to hit.
Nats by 3. Trey Turner, third base, RBI single. Ben Revere, second base, RBI single. Bryce Harper at first with a walk. Off speed, Clint Robinson ahead. He's 1 for 2 today. Jammed him, short center. Yelich coming in, blinding speed at third, but Trey not going anywhere. Throw cut off, 2 outs. And now Stephen Drew. 0 for 2, a walk, a run, hit by a pitch today. Off speed for a ball. Two and one on a ball ripped foul.
Do you think it'd be cool if they lit up the monument red for the playoffs? Just random thought.
Off speed, 3-1.
And even the Capitol, maybe. Just light up the town red. Now, let's really get into this. Can we make that happen?
You're the one with 30,000 plus on Twitter. Have at it.
Well, let's make that happen.
That ball ripped. Down to first, Bohr. So maybe the monument in red and the elevator getting to the top. That would be
How do you
awesome.
know how many people I have on Twitter if you're not on it?
They smile. Mo, Jimmy, Daryl. Haircuttery Sunday smiles. Hey, Neil. Eddie. Tom Ward. Well done, Kyle. You still look like Craig Stammen.
Pitch track. What's up, bro?
All right, Dave. Dana. John, well done. We're looking at you too, buddy. Sunday Smiles, brought to you by Haircuttery and our Masson fantastic crew, home of the Smile Back Guarantee, no small print, just big smiles.
Yeah, thanks to all those guys for bringing us all the action and having a fun season with a great ball club and making us look great every night. Well, as good as we can.
Easy to do. Chip Winfield, our producer, Chuck Whitlock, director Mikey Dressman, with all of his great guys in the tape room. Adam Graphics, Lisa Hansen here most of the year. You guys are the best, and we are honored to work with you.
And honored to call games for this ball club. What a run we've had. They make our jobs and our lives so easy every day by playing great baseball on a nightly basis. 3 championships in 6 years together. Thank you, Washington Nationals.
Mark Melancon and Christian Yelich, not exactly your easy 9th inning coming up here. 3-run lead. Strike 1 to Yelich, who's 0 for 5 career against Mark. What looked like a perfect cutter near the edge, ball one. That's a big curve.
And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't thank the Nats fans. They've all been so kind and loving to us everywhere we go and support this ball club every single day. And you look at the attendance on the season. It's been fun for me to watch this town grow into a baseball town. And we were looking for big things in October from you guys. To just come here and make this place an absolute zoo. And make it a home field advantage.
Yeah, well done, fans. We love you guys. Miss you when we're on the road. Almost 2.5 million this year. 1-2 pitch and the fastball away.
Make the Dodgers feel it. Because those guys down there in the first base dugout, they feed off that. They'll appreciate it, trust me.
2-2 Melanson to Yelich.
We could be the last game going. There's one game still going. It's the Rays and the Rangers, and they're in the bottom of the ninth. I'm okay with that. It means we get baseball longer than anybody else.
That's a base hit.
The
Marlins have 14 hits today.
I just don't want to go past this inning.
So after all the possibilities in the American League, it's all over. Detroit lost at Atlanta. That knocks them out. Cleveland finishes a win ahead of the Red Sox. So Boston has to go to Cleveland. And then the Rangers await the duel of the East with the O's and the Blue Jays. So 3 teams from the AL East are in postseason play. That's impressive.
It's impressive because they beat the tar out of each other all season long.
Yeah, the Red Sox weren't able to get it done after that Yankee walk-off grand slam by Mark Teixeira several nights ago, and now they got to travel. But they had a great September.
Christian Yelich with 3 hits today goes to 298 on the season. What a year for Christian Yelich. 2 points below 300. There's a scoring decision here or there that he'll think about this winter.
Yeah, and 2 RBIs under 100. .20 pitch. Right side grounder. Retreating Robinson. A bullet to short. And the return throw. 3-6-1 with Melanson on the back end of it.
That did not look like a double play ground ball. Clint Robinson had to back up and field a tricky hop, but he got rid of it so quick with something on it right on the money. Watch this. In between hop, get rid of it. Right on the money. Trey Turner knows he has time with Justin Bohr running, so a nifty 3-6-1 double play. And partner, I'll let you take it to the finish. Here we go.
It's Melanson and Scruggs. Nats closer back in the strike zone, 1-1. 3-1. Third base. Drew grabs it. And the Nats win 95 games in 2016. Bring on the Dodgers. The guys are playing well. Max Scherzer is a 20-game winner. The Nats are all waving to the Marlins across the diamond. Classy gesture by all of our guys. Mark Melanson, 17 save with our ball club, 47th on the year, and an action-packed win to end the regular season.
What a year. What a tremendous year. You remember this ball club was picked third by some people in the division. The Mets were supposed to repeat. The Marlins were supposed to be the up-and-coming team. The clubhouse last year, the way the season ended, everybody talking about, I'm going somewhere else, I don't want to play there. The Lerners and Mike Rizzo hired Dusty Baker, and your Nats are NL East Division champs. So for the third time in the last 5 years, the DC stands for division champs, and there's only one thing left. Hashtag beat LA.
Max Scherzer thanking his teammates. They staged a tremendous rally in the bottom of the fifth after he'd been taken out to get up by 3. Then after most of that lead disappeared, they put 2 more up in the 8th inning. And Max Scherzer is the second ever Nationals 20-game winner. Nats win it 10-7. More from Nationals Park. The regular season's over. A lot of baseball left.